Now I am asking Massimo Giorgini, Senior Equity Sales Manager di Borsa Italiana, let's say Euronext now, but it's the same for us. And at the beginning, there is a speech from him. After we open the round table to the other guests. Prego. Abbiamo le chart.
Just a minute, please.
We are preparing a chart.
Okay. Roberto, va. Roberto? Sì. Ti risulta? Sì. Ok. È già connessa alle slide? Sì. Lascio.
Bravo. Ok.
Ok. Come preferisci?
Vuoi sedere?
Anche qui vicino a posso. Okay. I'll leave it the podium for logistic reason, and I think it's now to say good afternoon, good morning. So thank you so much for being here today. For me, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Sorry.
Also this one.
Slovenian.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So it's a pleasure to be here today, and I want to thank all of you, all the participants, in particular also the sponsors, all the companies that helped to create this wonderful symposium today. And let me give a special thanks to Paolo for the very kind invite to talk here today with you. What is the stock exchange very Borsa in the context of the Euronext group? Let me start with the slide. It should be here, probably. No.
Okay.
No.
Probably, yes. Come back for a bite. Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Only this one.
Can you see it better now? Yes. Perfect. So, Borsa Italiana, just a little bit of history of economics, was founded more than 200 years ago by Eugenio Napoleone as Bourse of Milan, actually. And starting from April 2021, is now part of the leading diversified exchange group called Euronext, including 7 geographies now. So basically, Euronext is operating in regulated markets not only in Italy, but also in France, in the Netherlands, in Ireland, in Belgium, in Lisbon. So we have, and clearly in the region as well, markets. So we are across trading, offering equities, bonds, ETF, certificates, product that we've been addressing today. A company now which is vertically integrated, not only providing only equity services, but also clearing, post-trade services, including clearing and settlement. So today, I would like to try to bring your attention to a couple of topics via 3 simple questions. The first one is why investors are interested to equity markets. The second one is why exchanges are so important at the moment as a financial institution for the stability of the financial system. And the last one is to try to discover together, and I'm very happy to take your question, if we are assisting to a demographic paradigm shift in retail trading, as also mentioned by Antonella Massari from the Association of Italian Private Banking. Before doing that, let's start with the numbers on the Italian markets in particular, as we are in Milan, Paolo. So basically, what I prefer to do is a little bit of performance of the Italian stock market this year. So we see in the equity market have been struggling compared to bonds market because clearly of the risk appetite, as mentioned by Antonella, but also because of market condition. What is happening today is that Italy, after a very good 2023, is performing very well in terms of volumes on across all the segments of equities. So not only the blue chip stocks, but also mid and small caps. It's something that we don't talk too much in Italy because we are focused on the listing process and the primary market. So how many companies are listing, how many are the listing, why, and so on. But if you look at volumes, which is the real addressable liquidity, all of us as an investor can interact with, Italy has been the fastest growing equity market in Europe this year, also last year, growing double digit on blue chips. The Euronext Milan and FTSE MIB index segment is growing plus 14-15% this year. Well, actually, what you see on the slide is the start of a sector rotation. So we talked about SMEs before. What you see now is that small caps are overperforming in terms of volume growth to chips. So clearly not in absolute, but the appetite for investors to enter into SMEs, particularly small caps, is increasing. And we see also increased fragmentation, which is helping in terms of sectors. So not only banks and utilities, energy companies, but we also see automotive stocks like Ferrari and San Paolo, Leonardo, the geopolitics cycle in the gas sector, are the stocks that are traded the most. So why retail investors in Italy and in other geographies are so interested in equity markets from a secondary trading standpoint? Well, if you see this chart is telling us two things who are factual and really real. The first one is the fact that most of the trading in Italy is happening during continuous trading during the day, not in the options. Okay, why actually you see other markets today, a large part of the trading is happening during the auction. Retail investors are not trading during the auction. Usually, all of us we do trade during the day, not at the beginning or at the end of the day. This is a testament on the left side. So basically, less than 20% of trading is happening in the auction. All the rest is happening between 9 and 5:30 during the day. On the right-hand side, this is taken from the Federation of European Securities Exchanges, from FISI, another very important leading association in Europe. This is turnover velocity, which is a simple number, which is telling you how much time the shares are exchanging hands during the year. If you take the free flow, what is free to be exchanged, okay, how many times shares are exchanging hands between different shareholders, being retail or institutional. And what you see is that the Italian stock exchange is leading Europe by turnover velocity, which is a clear reflection of the intense activity of day traders, retail traders. Let me clarify. Retail investors can be categorized in many ways. So we have retail clients, we have private banking clients, we have super high net worth individuals, we have investors, and we have long-term investors. Okay, so this is what you see from the reality of data. One of the reasons why Italians are interested in not only Italians, the Italian stocks is because if you take the Italian index as a sum of all the components is one of the indices in Europe, probably the most important index in terms of dividend yield. So basically the amount of dividends paid by the Italian companies, why? Because in the indices you will find mostly banks with recurrent profits and utilities, okay, energy, oil and gas sector, and so on. So basically the dividend is very high, and indeed long-term investors, this is making very interesting the exposure. And one of the topics that we discuss in this Capstone Symposium, which is thank you, Paolo, because it's offering the opportunity for me to shed some light about the performance of the country. Usually we measure equity indices performance, stocks, SMIB, S&P 500, in price index, meaning that basically we cut out the dividends paid by the company. But if you are a retail long-term wise investor, diversifying your portfolio in equities or equity mutual funds, as discussed before with Antonella. Thank you. If you consider the blue line is basically the index which is compounding the dividend base. So basically, if you go back to the Lehman collapse at the beginning, today, performance is really relevant, particularly following the COVID outbreak. This is more technical, but I wanted to put a slide just to talk about fragmentation. Some of the panelists before mentioned fragmentation in Europe, meaning that we don't have a single market, a single supervisory authority. Actually, we do have ESMA with some powers that at the moment are probably limited compared to the capacity of the US regulators. secondly, we have fragmented in equity trading, not only at local level, in that we have multiple exchanges, with multiple settlement of clearing houses, but we have also competition in terms of double listing. So we have other exchanges who are challenging incumbents like the primary markets. We're basically trying to double these stocks and offer those stocks to investors. Market is very fragmented. So if you take some stocks, some German or UK stocks, you will see that the primary market is now owning less than 50-40% of the total volume on BMW. Well, actually, Italy is another special case where still 75-80% of the volume is done on the primary exchange. You can see that on the left-hand side, while on the right-hand side, you see how much time during the day, in minutes, in percentage, the local primary market, Borsa Italiana, Euronext, is displaying the best prices on the bid and on the ask. So basically, to cut it short, this is the answer, my answer to this question, why investors are really keen to interact on a day-to-day basis with equity market in Italy, is because a concept of probably liquidity and stability of the platform, and also the type of offering they find. The second question is why, remember was why exchanges are an important market infrastructure provider or important for the stability of the financial system. Because talking about exchanges today is to me just telling you a part of the story. Okay, the ecosystem is much more complex and exchanges are vertically integrated across trading and post-trading. In this case, it's doing significant interest investment in Italy. First of all, we have just repatriated the clearing business from other countries into Italy. So basically, all clearing is now performed in Rome out of Euronext Clearing. Euronext has a number of settlement houses to ensure settlement of all the trades. And the picture is taken on the web. It's the new data center that is operating starting from June 22. All trading in equities, bonds, ETF, certificates, any asset class for the whole group. So basically, yes, I'm going very fast. So basically, this is very important because it's giving you a sense of the investments that every exchange, not only Euronext, is putting the core of the strategy, okay, for the stability of the system. Last question, to go very fast, and we move very fast. Also for toward lunch, which is very important. So, it's been a long day. So the question: are we assisting to a paradigm shift in retail trading demographics? Okay, before answering with my response, let's talk about what the regulator is telling us. The first one is Consob. Consob has been issuing research in 2022 over trading behavior of Italians during the COVID pandemic. And what they found is that number of new investors, retail investors, came into the market trading in a very skilled way, particularly equities, providing liquidity to the market with an average, let's say with an age, on average, was 10 years younger than before. Okay, the same evidence from the Autorité des marchés financiers in France, where basically they noticed number by number that the investors in stocks in France doubled, literally doubled, including also ETF, and did the same after COVID. So basically something that is going to be permanent. The last study is from Giorgini, which is another important association along with the APB, is the Association of Italian Asset Managers, and they found, that's very interesting from a demographic standpoint, as also Giele was saying before, young generation are investing via saving accumulation plans that we call PAC in Italy. Okay, this is very good because it's providing some increased level of financial literacy, knowing that you need to store your money through time and not as a stock, but as a flow. Response on the Italian side, in Italy, on the Italian equity market, we estimate 25% of trading volume during the day, and this is conservative number, is done by retail investor, by individual private citizen. This is a unique case in Europe. For sure, is something that is making the market very similar to other markets in other regions outside Europe. The same evidence that we have of this volume increase is coming from Euronext London and Euronext Oslo, where at least 15% of the volume is indeed coming from retail investors. So if you sum up all these things, what I want to say is that the industry is changing. All the partners today are providing testament and different cases of this change, which is also a paradigm shift in demographics for private banking or very simple retail need for trading. Exchanges are playing a role with banks, commercial networks, and trading association. And I think the debate regarding capital market union is a foundation of the future of these changes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much to Massimo, because it has been very interesting. And now we have a small round table, and ask, of course, other friends, Lars-Erik, Forsgårdh, to come out to come here, and with for representative for World Federation of Investors, Donnelly, coming from the United States, Kristjan Verbic, president of the PanSlovenian Investor Association, Giedrius, Steponkus, Lithuanian Shareholder Association. Thank you very much. Now the first to speak is Lars. If you are ready, Lars, you can stay where you want, or in the microphone there, or on this point, as you prefer. The moderator of this roundtable is Pat. So I don't know if Pat, do you want to introduce you, or we will make Lars to speak, and after we go? Okay, Lars, please. The microphone is yours.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for hosting and attending the event today. I am from the United States, so I have a niece who lives in the Netherlands, and she informed me that people who speak 2 languages are bilingual, people who speak 3 languages are trilingual, people who speak 4 languages are Dutch, and people who speak 1 language are Americans. So here I am. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Lars, next speaker. So thank you.
Well, thank you for having me here. First, a couple of words about my background. I was the managing director or CEO of the Swedish Shareholders Association for 22 years, up till 2006. And after that, I've been the chairman of the Swedish Foundation for Shareholder. Excuse my sore throat. I don't have a cold. It's like this. I'm sorry. And perhaps most important, I've been on the WFI board. Oh, thank you. Since 1985, next year, 40 years. So I guess that's why I'm here today. Thank you. A few words about the Swedish stock market. We have more than 900 companies listed on the 4 Swedish stock exchanges. We have 2,350,000 not retail investors, they're individual investors, private investors, who owns on the average 5 different stocks. And this is 22% of the total population of Sweden, which is 10.5 million people. So we have 2.35 million individual investors, and 7 out of 10 Swedes are owners of mutual funds. So you could really say that investing in stocks and mutual funds is really a natural movement in Sweden. And maybe that's why we have a terrific market. The Nasdaq Stockholm, and before that, the Stockholm Stock Exchange has had the best performance in the world between 1966 and 2020, 9.5% in real terms. And this is not my words, it's Credit Suisse. Okay. Instead of telling you how important it is to increase or improve the level of financial literacy, I will give you one practical example of what we actually do in Sweden to increase the level of financial literacy. And this is a project that has been going on since the beginning of this century. We call it personal finance for high school students in Sweden. High schools, maybe I should say secondary schools, I don't know, but we call it high schools anyway. It's an educational project that was initiated by the Swedish Foundation for Share Promotion in 2005 or 2004. And our goal is to improve high school students' knowledge in personal finance, as well as saving equities and mutual funds. And another important goal is, long-term goal, is to gain public acceptance another important long-term goal is to gain public acceptance for the idea to introduce personal finance as a compulsory subject in the school curriculum. And we're beginning to see some progress in this direction when it comes to the next school curriculum in Sweden. Aktiespararna, the Swedish Shareholders Association, has been the main financier of this project, and the Young Shareholders Association, with almost 9,000 members, is administering the project from the very beginning. Other financial contributors are Nasdaq Stockholm from the very beginning. The Swedish Securities Markets Association has come in later, as has the Swedish Investment Fund Associations. But they're all important contributors to this project. The Swedish Foundation for Share Promotion is the coordinator of this project. We started in 2006 when the Swedish Shareholders Association decided to allocate 1.5 million euros to a fund whose purpose it was to inspire students to learn more about the stock market and saving equities and mutual funds. So far, all parties have invested approximately 4 million euros into this project. And since the project started, our young lecturers have met approximately 350 students from all programs and grade levels in high schools all over Sweden to provide them with insights into personal finance, saving equities and mutual funds. In 2023, we carried out 704 lectures and met with 31,550 students. This means that we today are covering about 30% of the Swedish age group. 30%. Our 15 lecturers are young just over high school age. And this concept has been a success ever since we started this project. In connection with the lectures, all students receive a copy of a textbook called Afford Your Dreams. The purpose of the book is to provide the students with basic knowledge of personal finance, the stock market, and why they save in equities or invest in equities and mutual funds. Finally, another purpose of the project is to draw public attention to the fact that financial literacy is of vital importance for a company's ability to develop and compete in a global world. Therefore, the project is taking active part in the public debate concerning personal finance and savings in equities and mutual funds in Sweden. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I asked Patrick to speak about the United States for a while. We are not late, but we have to try to be short.
Okay. Do we have the slides by any chance? No, I'll go very here. I can stand up and
I don't know if we have a slide.
no worries. I will start speaking. So I'm with an organization called BetterInvesting in the United States. We are 74 years old, and we've had a focus on training and instructing individual investors investing in the stock market, particularly. So how to analyze stocks, how to analyze equities. And we also do that through teaching them how to form what are called investment clubs. So small groups of individuals that are friends, families, co-workers that can come together and learn together about how to analyze individual companies and perhaps build a portfolio of stocks together as a learning expedition. What we've found after 74 years is that our membership is becoming more and more challenged as financial literacy in the United States has been on the decline for many, many years. So as part of the presentation today, we were talking about, how can we correct on what's being done in the United States regarding financial literacy? And it really comes down to three primary areas. The stock exchanges participate in financial education. The government provides funding and initiatives for individual organizations. And then there are private interests, such as nonprofit organizations that come together to provide the financial education. So that's our big takeaway at the point is for some best practices, if we could proceed along, and I am doing this quickly to give everyone else a chance. So some of our best practices are to see that, we need regulatory change, some initiatives. So recently, within the last several years, personal financial literacy has been put into the public education system of the United States. Currently, I think the number is 35 or 37 of our 50 states actually require formal personal financial literacy in the high school or secondary school systems. There's about 16 of those that actually require a full semester, a formalized course around financial literacy. So it's not universal at this point in time, but it is growing and it is improving. One of the challenges with that then is who is going to instruct the instructors that need to now take on that educational challenge. So our organization, BetterInvesting, along with other organizations, are very interested in participating in educating the educators so that we can expand the financial literacy. We've also recognized that, for example, if you do not have, as we say in the U.S., if you have more month left than you have paycheck, you're not going to be interested in investing in individual equities or in your 401k. If I cannot pay my rent and my groceries and my car payments, if all of that takes all of my money, I have nothing left over to invest. So we need to really get back to basics to make sure that folks do free up enough money so that they can participate in the investments. The other thing is that a lot of the investing that does occur happens through our individual retirement accounts at our employment, which accounts for a large amount of the participation that we do see in the individual markets. However, there's questions we would like to pose. The question is, how do people understand how they will direct their funding in their retirement accounts at work? That's a separate environment entirely, but it is an area that we're looking to investigate as well, to provide education to people as they work and direct their funds.
3 minutes. Can you?
3 minutes. I am done. So I'll be available at lunch if there's any questions or comments. So thank you very much. And then next would be
If you want to explain this chart.
if I want to explain this chart. Okay, this chart is okay. One of the things is the role of stock exchanges, as it says on the chart. The stock exchanges are not required to provide financial education in the U.S. at least. However, they do provide educational programs and provide funding for educational programs. So here's a small listing of those. And then one of the other things that we wanted to make sure we pointed out, if we move on to the next slide, please, is the different exchanges. So the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ are different exchanges, and they each have their own separate educational programs and programming that they provide for. So this is a listing of those programs. In short, what the real takeaway is, there is no shortage of effort trying to push out financial education. It's a matter of, can we get enough people to receive and accept that financial education in the U.S.? And then finally, there are, let's see, sorry. Yeah, these are the different private organizations that also put on the funding as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now I ask Kristjan Verbic, PanSlovenian investors representative. Okay, it's complicated. It doesn't matter. We put it. It's always something changing here. Come on. Wait for a while.
Yes, hello everyone. I believe that there is no need because of the technical situation, but anyway, I'm very glad to be here. My name is Kristjan Verbic, representing PanSlovenian Investors and Stakeholders Association, covering neighboring Croatia as well. As most of you probably know, Slovenia and Italiana, where we have our premises, is less than 5 hours away from Milan by car. Of course, if traffic is not very dense. Otherwise, I'm also representing the European Federation of Investors and Financial Services Users as a board member, as well being honored as a board member of the World Federation of Investors, and considering this occasion, I'm also a member of FSUG, Financial Services Users Group, at the European Commission and several other bodies. Regarding the education, let me share our experience from Slovenia. So, of course, our efforts as an association were
for almost 20 years. We have an anniversary next year, 20th anniversary, to get topics also in the curriculum at the base primary level or else. We did not succeed. It's even more important than in a case, let's say, established capital societies and states that we have previously a chance to hear about. It's a great example of Sweden, also the case of the US. In our case, when there was a change of the social economical system, socialist to capitalist, there was a process of privatization, so-called transition, and each and every citizen became a shareholder and a share owner. So the education, of course, is even more important in such cases. And since there was none, there was, of course, let's say, the present climate in society, and I, otherwise a professor, decided to go into this topic and to take care of informing, educating, and also protecting the rights of the, it was said before, minority or shareholders, individual, retail, private investors. It was more or less, like I said, all the citizens. Nowadays, unfortunately, we just have close to 100,000 left of 2 million of all the citizens being investors in the capital market. So did we have our...
Can we show the video you prepare for us?
Yeah, I mean...
if you can, because I don't know the connection, but I think we can do it.
Let's not lose time with it.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is basically our webpage. This one is in Slovenian, so probably down there, or you have also the English one. It might be better. So, regarding education and information for shareholders and people that are really getting in touch with us on a daily basis, tens and hundreds of them. We have a lot of cases also on the courts, in the legislation process regarding our international activities. Also, we established so-called share support program that we offer the ones that are not investors or shareholders to join us with what is another thing was not mentioned today. It's the cost of being an investor, especially for minority shareholders or individual investors. The cost of being an owner is very important. Also, of the transactions you have with shares in such a case. We have quite some listed companies in Slovenia regarding this matter. Unfortunately, less and less. There is a video of one of them as well, and one of the largest listed companies called Insurance Legal. We choose also them because they are offering investment also during insurance and connected to pension programs. Was also a topic today, previous a little bit. But in any case, so regarding the share support program that we established, we are taking care of representing at the general assemblies of the companies, the ones...
Just a moment, there is a video.
Just the video.
So this is a good opportunity for maybe some of you.
Over 5,000 employees share our mission. Building Greek local has been proudly reaching peaks ever since the parent insurance company was established in 1900. Started as an ambitious local pioneer, Trigilo now has companies in all regional markets and reinsurance. The group has formed to become the market leader in Slovenia and Balkan region. Over 5,000 employees share our mission. Building a safer future with responsive, simple, and reliable solutions and services. We are problem solvers wherever and wherever clients need us. We support sports spectacles and athletes, encourage music talents, and make our environment both safer and cleaner. Because for the top, you must always push the bar higher and try harder.
Okay, thank you. But by the way, Triglav is the highest mountain in Slovenia, so it's... This is an insurance group present also in the whole region, like it was. Yeah. the echo, no? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, maybe yes. Okay, perfect. This is the English webpage. Definitely, very welcome to visit it. If you have any further questions, of course, I'm here available for further explanation. And in another minute and a half, we would just like to finish our efforts regarding the share support program, which we consider important also for maybe other countries, especially in Europe. We definitely would like to see cross-border ownership and so-called common capital market and all what it goes with. Today's topic that was mentioned, that we should have maybe one major stock exchange in Europe, definitely help, so on. But with our share support program, we are offering minority shareholders to represent them, even on the general assemblies of the companies regarding dividend policies and so on, or in courts and litigations where it's necessary. We have a lot of cases of squeeze out, takeovers, stuff like that. And on the other side, of course, we're enabling them to have the cost of their ownership as low as possible in a share support program, and also with the transactions, because we make packages of shares, there is an interest, and we negotiate with the ones that might be interested in buying them. So we're quite efficient, and this is maybe something that might be of your interest to check out as well. And thank you very much for Paolo.
Thank you to you. You are very helpful for our position always. Now the speech to Giedrius Steponkus coming from Lithuanian, and I found for you your charts, but I don't know exactly how it works. Okay, find it. Did you find your charts? We can ask Anna Chiara to come here because she's the technician. This is too complicated for me.
Yes. Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you very much for having me here. And yes, it takes a bit of boldness to speak about literacy in such a turbulent times. I would say global shift of paradigm, which generates a lot of different kind of risks. But at this intervention, I would say at our table, I would like to one remark, one point raised, and one question. So I shall start from remark. From previous presentations, I calculated that it was a very rarely used term, capital market union. Well, I would, as an individual investor, I would switch this name and would name it saving and investment union, because it sounds better for point of view of individual investors. And also now it's about financial literacy. I would like to unpack a bit because financial literacy entails at least three different components. It means financial attitudes, financial behavior, and financial knowledge. I would say that everything should start from attitude formation. If there is no attitude, there is no education, because there is no motivation for education, and nobody could help. Even best programs wouldn't help. And then if investors has attitude to motivation to get freedom, financial freedom, they would have to turn behavioral patterns to form. Because I think that discipline is more important than knowledge, especially nowadays, because knowledge could be generated by AI. Nobody could compete anymore if somebody tried to get acquainted with that. He had seen that so many plethora of apps who could replace not one but 1,000 humans at offices, starting from legal and also analytics
and it's getting so fast changing that knowledge is already losing value. Here we have from OECD data about literacy, well, in 3 components from all countries. I am delighted to know that Italy and Lithuania is on par and almost at the average of Europe. Yes, this is my point. And to conclude, I would say that skills are more important than knowledge in these days.
Thank you, Giedrius. You are always. Sorry?
One question. I said that there will be one question. For Massimo from Euronics, I have a question. It was impressive to know that you integrated settlements with trading floor, and also you brought operations to Milan. Congratulations on that. But in Europe, there are 35 stock exchanges and 25 or so central depositories. In United States, we have 1 depository in only 2 main exchanges. What are you going to do? What's next for Euronext?
It's a simple question, as you can imagine, and it's a question that I'm not able to address. Apologies. So I can give you confirmation of the fact that we are running different market structure setup. So by law, US, you have 1 single settlement company, which is DTCC. If you look at option, you have OCC, which is the Option Clearing Corporation. For example, we had Pat, thank you, in the panel can confirm. So it's a complete different setup. There is also a single national information system, which is disseminating prices, which is another sort of story. And probably at this point in time, the evolution we are now is that Europe is not United States of Europe. Is something that has been created with the Treaty of Maastricht in 1992, evolved with the euro currency. We are losing part of our power every day in every single country to delegate power at central level. So I think, in my personal view, it's a process. We will know the outcome. It's definitely a long process. It's not a short process, but clearly the benefits are there. To answer your question, what exchanges taken per se are doing? Well, probably Euronext is the only exchange provider, market infrastructure, where we are consolidating 7 countries. Well, if you see the other groups, you have indeed Deutsche Börse, which is only Dutch exchange. You have LSE, or you have 6 Swiss with BME. We do it in Spain. So Euronext, and I'm coming with you because Nasdaq is very important. Nasdaq is very important because actually they were one of the first to consolidate. Indeed, the Nordic countries have been in Stockholm, and what represented by the chair of WFI is impressive. So,
thank you very much. I saw some young students there coming from Berlin. Are you giving us your opinion about this fact? Can you come here? Do you want to speak, or we are too shy? Okay, so you let us to go to the lunch. Okay. Yes. Can you try this final speech?
Coming back to Pat's presentation, I think we all have a reason to learn from the American example when it comes to financial education. Thank you, Pat, for that presentation.
Paolo, could you stimulate a question or two from
me? There is some question. We have a few minutes, but we can answer easily to everybody if you ever to ask something. Mark will answer. Come here for the question so we can hear you.
Thank you. No, actually, it's a very simple question to all different associations in all different countries. Other than association, for example, in US, you told about different retail groups, investors that come together and learn together. Do you have also some tools to do it? Like, which platform do you use, and how is the learning process structured for everyone?
Matt has a very specific response.
Pap, it's up to you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, I thought about that. We should have had a little bit of a demonstration, but yes, our organization, so betterinvesting.org, we have a specific framework and methodology that we coach and mentor by, and that is represented in an online tool that we walk people through when they are looking specifically at individual stock equities. So it's a combination, I would say, of a lot of fundamental understanding about the company, evaluating the profitability of the company, evaluating the management. Management's a very important aspect. The tenure of the company, their attitude, their approach. Then we do some evaluation of what are the right prices to purchase the stock at. Speaking strictly as a stock investor in this example, the worst thing that you can do in investing in the stock is paying too much for that stock. You have to get the stock at a reasonable price, and we spend a lot of time focusing on that advice. So we do have a specific tool. A lot of the exchanges, the brokerages, through their financial platforms, they are starting to develop some of their own individual brokerage-based evaluation tools as well.
Thank you very much. Mark, do you want to give us your final opinion of the meeting?
Yeah, I'll just answer that one as well from the World Federation perspective. If you go onto the World Federation of Investors website, which is wfic.org, you will find a series of videos on investing basics, which were put together by the UK organisation Shareholder, and which are free to use for anybody. But we try to identify best practice around the world and to bring that to the attention of each organisation so that there is a cross-flow of ideas. I'd just like to thank attendees, panelists, sponsors.
Another question.
Oh, I'm sorry, the question.
Okay, Mark, if you don't mind, I just wanted to add the topics that we have been discussing about. I believe it was not mentioned. Okay, we have the case of US, and we would like to do some very, very, let's say, similar things that should be done also in Europe. But let's not forget, it's not mentioned today, that's why I decided to add this for general picture, that in US we have really completely different system of pension policy. So each and everyone have to take care on its own, more or less. And this is why the system is built, let's say, from the investment from the local society and clubs on to the state and to the federal level, so, which is great. Of course, I have admiration for it. But on the other side, I would like to say that I hope that the European pension system will not collapse. It might, of course, and we are coming closer to it. But I would, of course, hope that it will also stay, let's say, the form that we have still, a social state, that we are different countries in Europe, but we are still enjoying this social state.
Very interesting. Thank you very much. Can you?
And yeah, anything else on the Europe?
Yella, do you want to add your comment?
Go ahead.
No, nothing. I agree with Kristjan. The pension system is completely, but of course the US is always the role model that we would like to develop. Take the positive aspects of the US.
Yeah. So again, thank you to attendees, sponsors, to our hosts, and to Paolo and the team for a fantastic conference. And thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.